Hi, this is Kylie from Crafting on the Fly. Today I'm going to show you how I made this skeleton corset. And what I used for it is actually this panel from Target. It was $5 and we're going to just use the rib part for this corset. So for the pattern I used McCall's 4861 corset pattern. And you can see it's a little bit wider, so I'm just going to use this for the inside. And then just loosen it up a bit, cutting it. And since I need a little bit extra there, I'm going to cut off from the other areas that I have from this banner. And just going to sew that on both sides so that it's wide enough. Right here. And then I'm actually also using the other parts for the inside, because I'm going to use the black on the inside of the rib part. So there it is, it's all attached to the sides. I'm going to fold it in half and just going to cut out this pattern. And then do this same one for the back of this pattern that I have, and then can add them together. Just gonna draw on the lines for the boning. And on both sides. And then this corset pattern actually has the front and the back being the same piece, and then the sides also being the same. So you have to basically cut out 4 pieces. Four pieces of the front and the back, and actually the side, it's because it's doubled up there, so you need 8 pieces of that. So here I'm just using the other ones for the inside, since I'm using the black on the outside of all the other pieces. And this is one of the side pieces that's going to be doubled up for the side, just sewed down here along this edge to open up. And then the same one for the black, which I'm going to use as the front on the sides and the back. And like I said, the side pieces have to be sewn together, so I'm doing that now. And this is one finished side. You can see that sewing together, you really have the little dip there, and those are the boning, and then just have to add the grommets to the side. So I'm working on my second piece, opening up the seam there. Of course, it would be nice to just iron that, but I'm not gonna do that now. Just gonna use some clips to hold it together while I sew both pieces together. And then here too, I'm going to leave that space for the grommets. And then from there, just make my lines I'm going to be sewing on big enough for the boning to go in. So some of this like pinstripe pattern. So I'm going to do those to the middle, and then also the same on the other side. And just going along each line there. That was actually the most fun part, just doing them all and working on my straight lines. And then also going down the middle. And that's my piece so far. Now I'm gonna add the bias tape around it. I got this nice black one. all those 3 sides, and then the fourth one, the top one, is where I'm gonna add my boning before finishing off with the bias tape. So let's sew that on. All the way to the top, and then turning it over so that it encases both fabrics. All the way to the top, and then I'm just gonna leave the rest on to later put that in. And for the boning, I'm actually using those zip tie tags and just trying to make it a little bit round so it won't come out, and putting them in between my lines there, the one right next to the edges first. And there, make a little bit shorter there on the top so you can still sew on that binding. And then do the same with the next one, just cutting it a little bit round. You can also use a candle to make it more smooth, but actually just cutting it round really worked for me, so it's much easier. And getting that in there in between the 2 layers of fabric, and cutting it just a little bit shorter so that I can just still sew the binding on, or the bias tape. And then doing the same for the one more to the center. And now just add in the one to the top. And now working with that front piece, gonna do about the same, just adding all the lines. And sewing them on, just like I did with the side pieces. I was like, let's just do the side pieces first and get it all squared out. And now the front piece is the final one that I'm gonna do. So you can see that, the back and then the front. And since I used the white yarn there, I'm gonna just use this Sharpie and get them all black so that you can still see the rib cage nicely. And then the same drill, doing the bias tape, adding that all around the bottom part of the sides, and then leaving the top open so I can add the boning in. Flipping it over to do the top, and now it's all finished, and it's just gonna do the boning for that. And for the front piece, I wanted to double up the boning just in case. I know I didn't do it for the back, but I did it for the front, just to give it some extra support. And the same, cutting it, making it a little bit shorter so that I can still sew on that bias tape on the top. Rounding it off, and like I said, I'm gonna do double here, so on both sides, and then a few in between the pinstripes that I sewed on. And so for the front, I'm gonna have the black in the back, and that's why I used the white yarn there, so that you really see the rib cage. And then for the other ones, I do the black in the front, so I use the black yarn for it. Right in there so that there's enough for that, and just keep going with all the other ones. Double them up. And I got my zip ties at the dollar store. So that was definitely a great find. They had these nice long ones and they're thick, so I really like those. I'll be using them again. And that's it. Just have to do it along the top. And then now I have to add the grommets, and I realized I can just, for the second one, since I did the back first, I can mark off the spacing right through there. And I actually punched my holes beforehand, just because it's a double-sided fabric, or like two pieces of fabric, and also this canvas is pretty thick. So trying to get these holes in, that was definitely the hardest part of this entire project. And adding the grommets is always fun. Just getting that fabric all around it. That was not fun. Get it all down there to add that back piece. And then just crunch it together. And doing that all around the sides, on the front, the back piece, and also the side pieces. Just going with each grommet. And that's, I think, what took the longest of this entire project, is putting those in. But they really do look so good. So this is the back piece. You don't need to have that. Right there. See all the nice boning in it to make that stable. And then the side pieces with the boning. So there's two of those, left and right. And I'm just gonna have to lace them all up with some nice ribbon that I have. And here's the final. I really love how it came together. And the white ribbon is really cool. I love that. And the back all along. And it really gives it a nice shape. All excited to wear that for Halloween. Thanks for watching, and give me a like and a thumbs up.